Sai Ram. It was a Trai session in progress where Swami had called the students, staff and some other devotees into his own residence, Trai Brindavan, in the Brindavan ashram at Whitefield in Bangalore. Swami had asked a certain devotee to give a talk during this session, and this devotee was recalling with great gratitude and love how Swami had taken care of him when he had a heart attack. In fact, Swami had visited his home also. And this devotee was mentioning that morning as Swami was drinking coffee. At this point in time, Swami called him and said, "Hey, I never drink coffee." Now when Swami said this, the devotee continued after a small momentary break by saying, "Swami says that he never drinks coffee, but that day in my home, he drank coffee." And we all felt, oh my God, what an embarrassing thing for Swami. But Swami was sitting there with the sweetest of smiles, with absolutely no embarrassment. And that is something so divine. He was the least flustered, and his smile was such that it made the speaker happy, it made all of us happy, and none of us felt anything about it at that point in time. Today, when I look back at this incident in retrospect, I am reminded of the words of Professor M. Nanjundaya, who was formerly the Controller of Examinations for the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He said that if Swami tells something seriously to you, pay attention. But if Swami tells something casually, pay even more attention. That is very significant. Interesting, right? Pay more attention to something that Swami says casually. Why? How? Well, there was a time when Lord Shri Krishna tells his wife Rukmini, on the other side of the Yamuna river, there is sage Durvasa who has set up camp. Go to him and offer him a feast. He will shower you with blessings that are good for you. And so Rukmini decides to follow what her Lord has said. But then how to go across the Yamuna, because there are no ferries or boatmen over there. She asks Lord Krishna, who tells her, when you reach the river, just say, the Nitya Brahmachari Krishna has asked you to make way for me, and the Yamuna will make way for you. Now Rukmini was very intrigued, because Brahmachari in the worldly sense means one who has not married. Rukmini herself is his wife. But anyway, she goes and says to the river Yamuna, the Nitya Brahmachari Krishna has asked you to make way for me. And Yamuna makes way for her. She's amazed. She goes and feeds Durvasa. And Durvasa enjoys this feast and he blesses her profusely. Now she tells Durvasa, "Oh sage, I have to get back. How do I cross the river now?" He smiles and he tells her, "Tell the river, the Nitya Upavasi Durvasa has asked you to make way for me." Upavasi in the worldly sense means one who fasts, and Nitya Upavasi means always fasting. And Durvasa is telling this after having partaken the feast. But to her amazement, when she goes and tells the river Yamuna, the Nitya Upavasi Durvasa has asked you to part for me, the river parts. What is the secret behind these apparent lies? When Swami says he has not had coffee, when Krishna says he is a Brahmachari, when sage Durvasa says that he is a Nitya Upavasi, it's fascinating and the subject of this video. Let me take you back to the year 2000. The summer course in Indian culture and spirituality was in progress at the same Brindavan ashram in Bangalore, and the students from all the campuses, Anantapur, Brindavan and Prashantinilayam, had gathered there. There was one student, Tarashankar Chakravarti is his name, we will call him Tara for convenience, who was receiving a lot of attention from Swami, and he was being honed to become a good singer. So Tara would sing daily, and almost every alternate day, Swami would speak to him and call him for an interview. He would be called along with another brother, Sujit, and Sujit and Tara received many divine opportunities in this period. During one such interview, Swami materialized a watch for each of them, and he told them to wear it. Now the strap was loose, and now what does Swami do? Swami hands them two 500 rupee notes each, that is 1000 Indian rupees, and tells them, go to any watch shop and get it repaired, get the strap tightened. Funny, right? The one who is materializing the watches in one moment, in the next moment is giving money and saying, go get the strap tightened. That is the Maya of the Lord. That is how he parts the wheel of Maya to first show his divinity, but then covers it back again so that we can interact with him and relate to him as a friend, as a master, as a mother, as a father, as a whatever, Sai Mata Pita, Dina Bandhu Saka, whatever matches. Now Tara thought that these are divine notes. Swami has given them with his own hand. So I will not like to spend this money. It will barely cost 20 or 30 or 50 rupees to get this strap tightened and a few links removed. I will get it done with my own money because I want to preserve and keep these two notes. That is what he did. But then just before the evening darshan, he noticed to his utmost horror that both those 500 rupee notes are missing. They are gone. And he was like, oh my goodness, I did not use it for the purpose Swami had given and now they are gone. Oh Swami, please Swami, don't do this to me. So he was feeling so bad. He wrote a letter to Swami complaining about this. Not complaining, just saying about this and pleading to Swami to forgive him and allow him to find back the notes that he needed. That day, he indeed got an opportunity of interaction with Swami. And he got up and told Swami, this is the letter. When Swami took the letter, he said, Swami, that money that you had given me is missing. Please, Swami, I don't know what happened. Swami smiled and Swami told him, I know you gave it to your wife. And all the boys around there, they also smiled and laughed at this joke that Swami had cracked. And Tarashankar knew that there was very little probability of him getting those two notes from Swami again because Swami was just joking it away. And that's what happened. Never got back those two 500 rupee notes. This is a casual statement that Swami apparently made, and that was it with this little incident in 2000. Now, let's fast forward and move 10 years later, 2010. That was the year when Tara got engaged to this lady whose name is Archana. She was a dentist and she was serving back then in the general hospital at Puttaparthi. They got engaged. And after that, both of them are united in their love for Swami. So they were sharing their own experiences with Swami. And Tara happened to mention this incident. And he said, that is one time when Swami had alluded to my marriage because he said, I've given it to my wife. You know how Swami cracks all these jokes and makes fun. To his surprise, his fiancée was sitting with a very overwhelmed expression on her face. He wondered what happened. And then she went on to narrate the most amazing incident. She said that exactly on that particular day, April 2000, she was having holidays and she wanted to visit her home in Hyderabad from Bangalore because she was studying dentistry in Bangalore. But her misfortune was such that on that very day there was a overall strike in Bangalore. The banks were on strike, the post office, the postal department was on strike, all these public offices were on strike, because of which she didn't have money to buy a ticket to go to Hyderabad. She had not withdrawn money from the ATM. And what could she do now but pray to Swami? She just prayed to Swami and said, Swami, I could have gone and spent 3 days with my parents in Hyderabad, I am not able to do now because I was foolish and I didn't withdraw the money. And even as she thought of returning back home, she puts her hand into her purse, and to her wonderment, there are two crisp, neatly folded 500 rupee notes. At that very moment in Vrindavan ashram, when Swami is telling Tara that I know you gave it to your wife, here his wife to be in 10 years time, 10 years later, she receives those two notes. Both husband and wife sat dumbstruck. Mukam karoti vachalam, they say. Swami makes the dumb people speak, the mute to speak. But he also strikes the eloquent people dumb with awe and a feeling of being overwhelmed. That is what happened to both of them, and they realized that was not a casual statement that Swami made. Swami never makes any casual statement. As Professor Nanjundaya said, when Swami says something casually, treasure it, cherish it, and pay all attention to it, because it will have great significance and meaning. And so much joy was derived, thankfully, because this brother recorded this statement that Swami had made. When Rukmini goes back to Krishna and asks, how is it, O Lord, that both of you tell lies and it works like as if it is the truth? Then Krishna laughs and says, how deluded you are to think that I am this body. I am not this body at all. I am the Atma. And the Atma is always a Brahmachari. Brahmachari, the true meaning, is one who is in quest of the Brahman. The Atman is the Brahman. So too, Upavasa means to say, stay close to God. Even sage Durvasa, a realized soul, is beyond the body. And therefore, the facts and truths that applies to the body does not apply to the Lord, does not apply to the realized souls. And that is why when Swami says, I never drink coffee, because I am not this body, I am the eternal Atma. Every time you go and look in every discourse that Swami has given, he never says, I did it. Swami never says, I went to sleep, I sat down. Swami says, this body sat, this body slept, this body got this body got that. He always refers to his body in the third person, because he is always steeped in that truth. He is the truth. That apart, Professor H.J. Bhagya, another teacher that I revere from the bottom of my heart, gave another beautiful explanation. He said, Arvind, when Swami tells us something directly, and if we don't do it, it is like direct disobedience of the divine command, of the divine words, and it entails great sin. Swami's compassion on us is such that many things he tells us indirectly. If we are alert, if we have faith in Bhagwan, if we love him and we contemplate on it, we will understand the meaning and do it. But if we fail to do it, we do not accrue sin, because Swami gives us the excuse that, hey, they did not understand because I told it indirectly. That is the compassion of our Lord Arvind, he told me. And that, dear brothers and sisters, is what I firmly believe as to one of the main reasons why Swami communicates indirectly with us, so that we have the scope to make our mistakes and he has the scope to pardon us with all his love. Dear Swami, how blessed we are that we have you in our life. May our love for you keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.